tea shop at Speaker's Corner, 15 pints on a Friday night, 20 pints on a Saturday night, a Sunday roast in the pub, and then you've got nothing left. The consequence of that is...
spending time with?
Shut up. The consequence of that is you go back to work the next week and you're compelled to go back, and you've got commodity you sold, you got some money, you spent the money, you've only got your ability to work again. And that's why the mass of working people remain workers. Not because they want to remain workers. Most workers would like to reach the point by the time they're 30, like I did, where they no longer have to work anymore in their lives. Most workers would like to retire at 30 or 40 or 50 years of age. They'd like to reduce their working week. They'd like to reduce the age at which they retire. They'd like to learn new subjects, just like a child does at school. They'd like to return to education. They'd like to travel the world. They'd like to discover the world. Human beings are not made to be wage slaves, working day in, day out, year in, year out, to accumulate capital, doing jobs they don't like, for people who exploit them, for purposes that have nothing to do with their inner urge. When you were a child, your teacher at school said to you, "What would you like to be?" And yet you did not become that. And they go, "Well, you didn't study hard enough, did you? You ended up in McDonald's. You ended up making a video for someone that you never wanted to make. Corporate video. You ended up working on multimedia, but not in the sphere you like, but making adverts for the tosspots." The consequence of that is most people become stunted. They no longer learn. They no longer study. A lot of them have no energy to investigate the world, to look into the world, to discover the world, or the money to do that. The consequence of that is it demoralizes the soul. Human beings become depressed, become bored, become miserable. The consequence of that, well, you can see it, that man earlier on is a perfect example. Walking misery. And that's promoted in capitalist society because the society does not match our skills, our capacities, our creativity, our energy. It stunts it, controls it, and represses it in order to make you moulded into a slave of the capitalist system. That's the reality of society we live in. Not only here, but you can go from one corner of the world to the other corner of the world, and the same phenomena is visible everywhere you go. So all Marx basically said was that the fact that the working class had created, through their labour, through their brains, the ability to transform the world many times over in the last 150 years. Every labour-saving device, from the telegraph to electricity, from the internet to artificial intelligence, from satellite communication to drones. Every advance in technology, in science, in culture, should lead to reduction in the working week, should lead to reduction in the working day, should reduce the intensity of work.
We don't work 6 days
and should free human beings to mentally advance and to use their ideas. Well, you don't have to work in a factory. The office is now a factory. The office is now a factory.
We do have a reduction in the working week.
We do not.
We do.
And my friend,
people used to work in Marx's times. People used to work a standard 6-day week and no holidays. We don't have a standard 6-day week.
I didn't say.
You don't work.
You're
part of the idle rich.
Firstly, what you're describing in Marx's time was applicable to the urban working class. The agricultural workers, like you're saying.
That whole season.
You've not seen those pictures in the National Gallery. And you see 15th century Merry England.
They weren't members of the working class.
And in Merry England, what were they doing? They're working in agriculture. In Merry England, they're all sitting around in the fields on a bountiful harvest. If the weather was good,
making love,
sitting around making love and making merry.
All the good things in life.
Making merry and making love. That's what they were doing.
this morning.
Whereas under capitalism, the capitalist system brought the entire world into the vortex of capitalist production. And it is not true to say that people work less now than before when we mean 1970s, for example. In the 1970s, it was the norm to have a male working. The female generally did not work. And the male work with his income would pay a wage which in real terms was higher than the wage today. When I worked in the 1980s, that's the last time I did work, when I worked in a factory, my friend, you can't smile, you're a capitalist.
He's a successful capitalist.
He's a successful capitalist.
He's one of the
and what does he do? Exploits the workers in the week. How many restaurants? 30 restaurants around the world.
No, 70.
Exploits the workers around the world. But after all this is the Italian in you. After all this, after exploiting all the workers in the world, he drives his Bentley. Hang on. He drives his Bentley to the Grosvenor Hotel to come to Speaker's Corner to listen to the Marxists.
It's a Rolls Royce.
It's called Catholic penance in the modern era.
I'm not Catholic.
No, I know. I know, because you became an atheist, you has to have a cultural substitute. I'm just messing. He's a very nice man. He gave me a beautiful cake at Christmas time.
Always.
3 years ago.
What's the Christmas you went away?
What happened this Christmas?
You moany.
A bottle of champagne once as well, and a Russian hat. And a Russian. So I can't complain. It served me well.
In the communist utopia, who cleans the toilets? Who picks up the crops? Fills in spreadsheets, etc.
The capitalists.
Well, I mean, there is a strong argument nowadays that we have robotics, we have modern technology. The
What, to clean a toilet?
Why not?
No, it doesn't happen.
They've got them in Japan. They've got them in Japan.
So
You see them on
Japan
the
is now
toilet.
everywhere.
Well, it is everywhere.
Dude.
You see on the look,
The
he's got a
world's
Japanese,
toilets
he's got
are
a camera.
cleaned by human beings.
He's making a video. Once upon a time, Alfred Hitchcock
That
would turn
camera
up with a massive
cannot
team.
clean a
That
toilet.
camera is more higher quality than Alfred Hitchcock's camera.
It's true.
Well, there you
but
go.
it can't clean a toilet.
No, but it can video it so he can send you to go and clean it. Send you a Facebook request.
YouTube
Go clean the
video.
toilet. That's right. But there are machines with self-cleaning toilets. I mean, those toilets you've got on the street. You know those ones you pay 50 pence to go into. It opens up.
The ones
you
that
get
open
inside.
up if you're
They
not there.
clean themselves. So they're already
They're a
toilet cleaners.
minority.
Second, can all dirty jobs be done by robots and machines? Most of them. But the main thing is the attitude. Do we seek to make sure that the dirtiest jobs are moved onto robotisation? Or do we seek to use robotisation to make people effectively into de facto slaves? And that is the dynamic that we're turning towards. That is to use machinery as an instrument to extend the power of capital in the exploitation of the labour force around the world. That's the dynamic of capitalism, and it's the opposite dynamic to the dynamic we need to be engaged in. So the central question is to ask those questions and then work out what the answer to it is by means of trying to work out how to reduce the burden, how to increase the leisure, how to increase science, technology, and culture. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it all. Thank you very much. See you again next week.
Of things where you will have drag queens, right, going into kindergarten and reading the books like Tilly the Transgender Teddy Comes Out. And this is preschool, right? This is what's happening in libraries and in schools around the town. But this is one of their main books, is Be Who You Are. You can be born in the wrong body. So they're reading that to children that you might be a boy, but you're really a girl. So they bombard them with all of this stuff. And then no wonder they suffer from mental illness. And I mean, where people of faith, I don't know, do you believe in any religion or anything?
Strongly, no.
No, see, for people of faith, there's a salvation issue at play here. And we can't duck that, we can't take that out of our faith, can we? So we either leave our faith or we stand up. And all I'm doing is trying to say, look, when they're children, for me, childhood innocence, it goes with being a child. And anyone who would try and defile that, we need to stand up where children can't.
Do you think the people teaching this have got goodness, or
no? I think what
do they? I mean, in their own mind, do they believe that they're doing good?
Possibly some of them now, but initially, the very militant LGBT activists started to infiltrate the teaching profession, the psychiatric profession, and bit by bit they've changed the whole philosophical outlook, so that now what used to be fringe, and we tolerate it because we said, look, you know, we're not going to go hunting you out, is now becoming rapidly mainstream. And when that happens, it's going to create a whole society in which we're all affected. So that's kind of, you know, so where do you as a person not face? I mean, you speak your mind, how do you feel instinctively about people like that?
I separate transgenderism from homosexuality.
Yeah, I would.
I do think personally it's a mental illness.
Yeah.
I've met quite a few transgender people. They always seem to be very, shall we say, self-centered. You ask them any question, they'll come back to themselves.
It used to be called sexual identity disorder. 10 years ago they changed it to gender dysphoria.
I do,
which,
on a personal level, I mean, if someone started work with me who was transgender, I'd respect them totally.
100%.
I'd call them whatever they wanted to be called, you know, pronouns, whatever.
Okay.
But I do think overall it is a mental illness that shouldn't really be tolerated to this extent.
Normalised.
Normalised,
yeah. Because I think that's the problem, is that we have mental illness that's being normalised, and this person, believe it or not, is a psychiatrist. So is this a female psychiatrist, or is this a man who is insane?
It does
and
seem
a definition of insanity here, which is, and for me, it's obvious that we're dealing with mental illness. It's so obvious. But it's a generational thing as well. Me and you because you're a Muslim, you understand, but most of the white population, and maybe lots of Muslims are just cultural Muslims, they seem to have accepted this to the point that the younger people now look at us and our opinion as if we're mad. And I've looked at them, they're like university standard intelligent German students here who, when I say to them that I'm a bi-gender man, I've told them I'm a what makes you think I'm a man? They go, oh, what do you mean? I said, I'm bi-gender, you know what that is. I said, I'm a man who's gender fluid. I can sometimes present as female, sometimes as male. They go, oh yeah, and they agreed with me. So then I said to them, so you agree I'm as female as you? Yes. And you agree I'm as female as your friend? Yes. And when I went, what's wrong with you? And I said, please read this. And it was a definition of insanity. And I said, who's insane? And she said, you are, to me, after agreeing I was a woman. So it goes to show how very, very intelligent people, and I think, have you ever read George Orwell's 1984? It's to do with groupthink. They have succumbed to massive groupthink, which means they're psychologically unable to break from what is mainstream. So when LGBT and all the rest of it's mainstream, the groupthink is so powerful they daren't think out of it, even if in their heart of hearts they do agree with us. So
you can see people struggle with it.
Yeah, they do.
When you give them some logic, they struggle with it.
They do.
Because they can't break out of indoctrination.
Yeah,
maybe
the groupthink.
The groupthink,
That's it.
It's happening in a lot of things.
Yeah, they have to do such crazy verbal gymnastics.
Yeah, and then they'll turn on you. Then they'll label you, call you a name, and they'll think that's the end of it.
Hate-filled. The things they normally say to me is, what's it to do with you? That's an interesting. Why are you bothered? Yeah, well, I've got 5 daughters, and if they're going to redefine what female is, it's got a lot to do with me as far as women's safe spaces, where my daughters can go, whether it's a changing room. And you get people like this guy here. This is another woman, lovely, beautiful female as well. Now, if this person claims to be a woman and is afforded all the rights of women, he's going to go into a female toilet or a female refuge or female communal changing room, swimming, and no one's going to be able to chuck him out. And nobody talks about it. No one is speaking. So Yeah, I'm just doing my small bit where you can do what you do, don't you? And as George Orwell said in 1984, he said there may be 100 people who ignore you, but if one person wakes up, they might go and tell somebody else. And that's about all we can do, because we don't have a platform, do we? No platform. So, unfortunately, for your camera as well, paedophilia is also starting to be normalised. This is a 2017 BBC. Paedophiles need help, not condemnation. Okay, so when you take, see where people of faith, when you take God out, eventually everything will be allowed. There's no reason to say why you can't allow that if you don't believe in God. There's no limit. I mean, you could as an atheist try and argue it, but you won't be able to have a basis to convince them beyond your opinion. And they'll go, well, you believe what you want, but this is what's happening, you can't stop it. You know, so yeah, unfortunately, this is the shape of things to come unless we're living in the last days, which I don't know. As a Muslim, what do you think? Do you believe in the last days?
Yeah.
Do you believe these are signs of the last days?
I've heard something about that this was stuff
Yeah.
normalised. That's signs of the Day of Judgment. I need to read into it.
For sure. Or could it be a purely Western thing? But then again, I think
so, because I think it happens in the other countries as well.
with social media it would now, wouldn't it? It changes things. Whatever happens in the West, as long as they've got internet access, it happens in bedrooms in probably Iran, with people who can get on the internet, who can be on their mobile phone. They'll be able to access all of this crazy stuff, won't they? You know.
You desire to just do what you want.
Yeah, yeah. Here's another for your camera. This is another female, a woman's rights activist who happens to be a transgender woman, but he doesn't seem any reason to do anything. He is just a woman. Doesn't need to wear makeup, have an operation or hormones. This is just another woman. But it doesn't stop just at being female. You can be, have you heard of transasia? You can be a 6-year-old. This is a 6-year-old girl, or is that a 52-year-old man? He now is he's claiming to be a 6-year-old girl. This is transracial. This girl claimed that she was black and worked in a black rights organisation. And this is really popular with young children. You can be a trans species. This person was a man, then he transgendered to a woman, and now he wants people to call him a cat. And in lots of schools, young girls, this is very attractive because they call themselves wolves, cats, and they change their names. And this is another manifestation of the trans ideology. Because if that's a woman, then why can't that be a cat? What's the basis for saying that isn't a cat if this is a woman? Do you see what I mean? It's, you know, but yeah, sad, isn't it? But all you can...
incest as well.
Oh, yes, yeah, yeah.
If you ask them about incest, I've talked to people, they said, how dare you compare the two?
Right.
How dare you compare the two? Incest and homosexuality.
Yes, yeah.
You're harming the next generation.
Right, yes, yeah.
Not if you take contraception, not if you adopt.
I know. Yeah, 100%. Because there was funny you should say that. There were two, an American and a Danish girl of about 20, said they felt there was nothing wrong with incest as long as they used contraception. And these were university women. Said as long as they use contraception, what's wrong with incest? And if you take God out of the equation, well, we're animals, so why not? So who's going to stand in the way? Are we as people of faith going to be rolled over or go underground? But even if we go underground, if our children are on social media, eventually their hearts are going to get... Because the devil is communicating to our children in school, in social media, trying to put ideas and seeds in them. And how do you escape it? I don't know. Homeschool?
Knowledge from a young age.
Right.
Conviction in your faith.
Yes, I agree.
Ways to do it. That's why if you... it's important to educate kids at a young age about this stuff in the right way.
You're right.
Without sheltering them from it.
Yes.
There's a balance of protecting them, but at the same time not completely sheltering them.
You know what? You've hit the nail on the head, because one of the justifications for this group here in getting to preschool children is they say that they want to get there before their... what's the word for it? Their reasoning faculties are developed. So you need to get there before they do. Because if they get there before you, they've planted the seed before you, and it's a hard job to get that out. But if you can get there before they do, and I was talking to a Sikh brother here, and he said unfortunately he's going to have to bring up subject matter that he doesn't want to talk about, but he's got to talk about it in a way that means he can pre-warn, forearm and pre-warn his children, so when they do come, he's already got there. But you've also got to have your children's hearts to do that as well, which is a very important thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Can I ask about the legal aspect of it? If you were a parent at this school and you just wanted to take them out for those lessons, would you get any consequence?
No, you could have, but they've changed the law, which is going to be the law of the land in September, is there is no opt-out anymore. You used to be given prior warning that there was going to be a lesson taking place and you would be able to withdraw your child from it. That's all changed now. It's already been implemented, but it becomes the law of the land by September next year, that all children have to sit through these. And also, they don't just do it in one subject. So maths, they might say Steve's two dads took Peter to the pictures. Now it's maths, but all subjects will all start to have this come into play. And I was going through past Tesco's. No, Sainsbury's in our town, a big roundabout. Sainsbury's welcomes LGBT and had a huge rainbow thing. TSB bus went past, big rainbow thing, saying we welcome LGBT. All of the businesses are all leaping onto this virtue signalling. Yeah, and it's virtue signalling as well. Because the more you go, yeah, the more friends you get, the more liked. And the more you say it's wrong, the more you're isolated and pushed out, you know. So,
what I find interesting is
yeah, I'll show you this.
Following our fates.
We've got to stand up, brother. I'm serious. We have to start getting together and saying, dads, we need to man up together and destroy this evil. This is a moral evil that only Sodom and Gomorrah could compare to that, and I think that was probably less than we got here.
Exactly. But here's the thing. People of our faiths as well, there are a lot of them who claim to be very religious Muslims and Christians.
Yes, you're right.
But they argue to reinterpret our books.
Yes.
Like I've heard arguments they use the Quran to say how they talk about spouses, but you can specify the gender, so it's fine and this.
Right, yes.
And then with the Bible, love God is love.
Yes, yeah. And I've heard that on the Muslim side, where they've been talking about Lot, you know, when Sodom and Gomorrah, saying the sin of Lot was the fact he wasn't married. It wasn't to do with sodomy. They're even using, like you said, they're coming in and reinterpreting things, aren't they?
There are explicit verses in the Quran where Lot says to them, you're approaching men in his eyes instead of women.
Yes.
To make people
No.
People have done, you're doing what people haven't done before you.
Yes.
So this is what Lot says to them in the Quran.
Yes. It is.
Complete explicit
For sure. Did you hear about that Australian rugby union? He's a Christian. I think he's a Hawaiian or something like that. He tweeted a verse from Corinthians, and it said, no liars, fornicators, drunkards and homosexuals will enter the kingdom of heaven. And he got sacked from his $4 million a year rugby union job, and a fellow rugby player thumbed up, and he's now getting hauled up. And all he did was tweet a verse from his scriptures. So soon our scriptures, certain texts will become hate crimes if you publicise. And that is something like we've never seen before, is it? You know. But here's hoping that all of us here, whenever you get the opportunity, you'll start to talk about it a bit more. And maybe, I don't know, Hashim and Mohammed Hijab and the main players will kind of say, hi there, yeah. We'll kind of join the bandwagon. Crazy, yeah? We don't like... Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100%.
Do you know Esther McVeigh? Last week.
What did she say?
She said, very simple statement, we should let the parents decide.
She actually said
and
that,
that's controversial. That is considered controversial now, to say let the parents decide.
I know. Because you know what, the dynamic has shifted from there are children to no, they're not, they're the state's children. And this is a big thing. This is one of the big things. The children don't belong to the parents. The parents are surrogates for the state. And they rear citizens for the state, not children to be brought up in the likeness of their parents. And this is what's changed. See, us as Christians, we kind of got wiped out a little bit sooner, maybe than you, because we were looser and didn't stand together as a body. That bit by bit, it's they can take your children into care like you wouldn't believe it, you know. And then they have those secret courts where young children are given to homosexual couples, and that's why some of the people at Birmingham aren't coming out, because that's what could happen to their children. Is this a woman, or is this person insane? You know that, and I know that. This is a man. This is a man with a beard who claims to be a woman. It's not a woman, you know. But yeah. Well, thanks for that, and God bless you all. Yeah.
More than welcome to do what you want.
The main issue was about Semitism, about why Corbyn is criticized when he talk about anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism have been existing for years, and it's unfair. Christianity came, they oppressed Semitic people. Islam, on its books, is anti-Semitic. Many things in Islam is anti-Semitic. It's not fair. We have over 40 Muslim countries in the world. We have over 30 Christian countries.
Muslims killing, I'll give you an example. People in the West, they are wrong. Why? They think we Muslims, we kill. No, I'll give you an example. The Muslims, they ruled Spain from the year 711 AD to the year 1492 AD.
They got slaughtered in the Crusades.
When Granada fell, okay, in the year 1492, okay, when the Christians were under King Ferdinand and their Queen Isabella, okay, now, so nearly more than 750 years, the Muslims, they ruled Spain. Go to Spain, Christian. The Muslim never told them to go. Okay, anyway, this is a Christian lady. She will start talking and she will never stop talking. Okay, so anyway, yeah, she start talking, she will never stop talking. Okay, so listen, so Spain, the Muslim ruled that for more than 750 years. They are still Christian. Why? According to the teachings of the Quran. I'll go back to Surah Al-Baqarah, the cow. Surah chapter number 2, ayah verse number 256. Allah says in our Quran, La ikraha fid din. Do not, there is no compulsion in religion. There is no force in religion. Qad tabayyana ar-rushdu min al-ghayy. What is truth will stand out clear from what is falsehood. So according to Islamic teaching, the Quran, we cannot force people to become Muslim. That is why they left those Christians in Spain. And yeah, questions are asked, so I'm answering the question. So if you wait, then I will even answer your question.
Right, but can I ask, so if what you're saying is true?
Yeah, it is true.
Which is, well, that's your belief.
Okay,
Sorry, I'm ignorant. Are you an imam? What's an imam?
Imam is somebody who leads people in prayers.
Okay, are you an imam?
Well, I have led prayers, but I am not a full-time imam. You understand?
Yeah, okay, so
I have a job.
Right, so why is it that Muslim leaders,
yes,
and Christian leaders,
yes,
and Jewish leaders,
yes,
do not denounce extreme behavior from within their religions?
Okay.
So why is it that imams are afraid to get on television and say, what you guys do within my own religion
religion. It fucks us up.
They do. No, it won't. No,
Why
it
don't I
won't
see
affect Islam. Let me tell you. Let me tell you.
TV, I read the media.
Yeah, okay, it doesn't matter. You listen, you read the media, read newspapers. Okay. Now, can I give you?
No, but why is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, why do we not see enough of this? Because you've just cited a whole bunch of stuff from the Quran.
Yes.
Which talks about benevolence to the prisoners and the women.
Yes, that is Islam.
Right.
Even before
but
you had the.
True,
yeah.
If that's true.
Yeah, that is true.
Why do we have Jihad John knifing people in the neck?
Okay.
And imams don't speak up against this.
No. When you say imams don't speak up, you're wrong.
Okay, well I don't see
why?
it. Okay,
well,
why
you don't see it because the TV channels you watch probably they don't show.
Maybe.
Okay. Maybe.
Well,
you're saying maybe. I know.
Give me examples.
I have Muslim friends, and they go to mosque, and in the mosque they do condemn any violence like this, extreme violence. What you're saying.
Thank you very much.
And sometimes the media don't allow imam or whatever to say something really good like positive.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the media is controlled. Do you agree?
Okay.
Do you agree? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much for coming. Sir. Okay. Okay.
Say that.
Okay.
Say that again.
There was a clue list that ISIS made of different imams that spoke against them.
Okay.
There's a video.
Yeah.
So why?
Okay, brother.
Why do Shia and Sunni kill each other? Like why?
That is wrong. Let me tell you.
Why is there so
Madam, we are speaking. Excuse me. Okay.
Even within Christianity, you have these fucking white supremacists.
Can I speak? Sir, can I speak? Let me answer. Look, we Muslims, if we are Muslims, we have to read the Quran. And when we read the Quran, we Muslims, we have to believe the Quran. Okay? If we are Muslim, if we say, actually, Mr. Christian, actually, you Christian, will you?
Would you like to explain this?
Okay, thank you. Anyway, we Muslims, our holy book is the Quran. And we Muslims, we have to believe in our holy book, the Quran. If we are Muslims and we don't believe even in one ayah, one verse of the Quran, even half a verse of the Quran, even one word of the Quran,
so
we are not Muslim.
Why is it that within your religion, and no religion is immune from bad behavior. No religion is immune from bad behavior, but in your religion...
Yeah, go on, carry on. While she starts talking, she wants to excuse me.
Okay, but why is it that people use the Quran as justification for murder and kill the infidels, and we're anti-Christian?
Okay, let me give you an example.
We can show you verses.
Let me. Yeah, I'll show you verses. Excuse me. Okay, let me tell you. In our Quran,
Can we read them?
Can we read them?
why don't you Christians be quiet at the moment we are speaking? Okay. Anyway, sir, I will read to you a verse from our Quran. Translation of a verse from our Quran. In our Quran, in Surah Al-Ma'idah, the table spread. Surah chapter number 5, ayah, verse number 8. Allah says, "O you who believe, be upright for Allah in all firmness, bearers of witness with justice." So in our Quran it says, bearers of witness with justice. Excuse me, are you listening to me? Okay, listen. Excuse me, two people can't speak at the same time. Okay, so anyway, I'm the speaker here. Let me now. So Allah says again, "O you who believe, be upright for Allah in all firmness, bearers of witness rightness, with justice, and let not, listen carefully, and let not the enmity of a people incite you not to do justice.
So can I ask a question?
So, in other
Point,
words,
what is Sharia law? What is Sharia law?
I will answer the Christian one also.
What is Sharia law then?
Let me say. Let me read this verse fully, and then you ask me the next question. Okay? Now look. So Allah says, and let not the enmity of a people incite you not to do justice. So act fairly as it is nearest to true piety, and keep fearing Allah. Okay? Verily Allah is fully aware of what you do. So according to our Quran, we have to be just.
You've got to
So then what is Sharia law?
Okay, Sharia law.
So what is Sharia law?
What is Sharia law? Let me tell you. Sharia law, let me tell you. Okay. Thank you. Sir, excuse me. You want to listen to the Muslim or the Christian?
I want to listen to both.
Okay, both can't speak at the same time.
Finish and then.
Okay, anyway, if you want to speak with the Christian, you can go over there and speak. Okay. Now, anyway, listen. Now, let me give you examples. You people think we Muslims, we kill, we force people to become Muslim. Let me give you examples. Okay, the Muslims have been rulers, and I'm going to compare the Muslim rulers with the Christian rulers. The Muslims have been rulers in many countries.
by the sword.
In Africa, in Asia. Brother, are you Muslim? Jazakallah. So Muslims have ruled in many countries. In Europe, in Africa, in Asia. Let me give you examples. In Europe, the Muslim ruled Greece, Montenegro, Macedonia, Bulgaria, Romania, Moldova, parts of Ukraine, parts of Russia, Croatia, Serbia, Albania, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Kosovo, parts of Italy, islands in the Mediterranean, like the Sicily island, like Sardinia, like the Greek islands, and Spain and Portugal. Go to those countries. Accept Albania, accept Kosovo, accept Bosnia-Herzegovina. All the other countries, they are still Christians. Although the Muslims ruled those countries for more than 500 years, more than 400 years, more than 300 years. And in the case of Hungary, these Christians don't have manners. In the case of Hungary, the Muslims, they ruled Hungary for more than 160 years. Go to all these countries, they are still majority Christian. Let me tell you, in countries where the Christians became rulers, let me tell you what was the result.
They convert to false.
Let me tell you, give you the result. Jazakallah.
Where does it say?
We go to South America.
It says 5.
In South America, we have Brazil,
Christians and Jews do believe.
Colombia, Paraguay,
Not Islam and
Ecuador,
so it then says
Guyana,
Israel is their God.
Suriname, Chile,
Jesus is
Argentina,
God. How
and
they are.
Peru. Okay. They were ruled for hundreds of years in South America, mostly by the Spanish.
Yeah, this is what.
But Brazil, which is about 3 million square miles of territory, Brazil, the biggest country area-wise, population-wise in South America. Capital, Brasilia. Brazil was ruled by the Portuguese. Spanish were Christian. Portuguese were Christian. Now, those countries I mentioned in South America, they are free. But do you know the original population in those countries? The Aztecs, the Incas, the Indians, they are minority now.
She's missing passages.
But these foreigners from Europe, in those countries, now they are majority. Another brother, if you want to debate, why don't you go over there? Take her over there.
I don't want to debate. I'm not debating. I don't want to.
So what is the result? I gave you the number of many countries, Christian countries, with the Muslim rules. Not say, so your lie. Okay.
When you lie, you not only look handsome, you look like you are disaster.
You are the professional liars.
Question again.
You are the professional liars.
What is
okay.
Br Salah?
Now,
That's the first question. Second question is, what is
why you keep talking? Let the Muslims speak.
Does Allah do wudu or does Allah do ghusl before he prays for Muhammad?
I told her.
Does Allah do wudu or does Allah do
This Christian lady,
you're talking, you crazy.
she is confused.com. This Christian lady is lost.com.
Allah do ghusl. Simple question.
Confused.com.
Allah does pray for Muhammad. Who does Allah pray for? My first question. Getting up on the chair is not helping you. My third question.
Okay, can I ask you,
Does
Jesus
Allah
pray?
do wudu or does Allah do
Is she
ghusl
mad?
before he prays for Muhammad?
I told
Simple
you.
question.
I
Give
told
me
you.
the simple
I
answer.
told you. Okay, listen.
Give me the simple answer.
Okay, you
Which
be quiet.
direction
You be
does
quiet.
Allah pray?
Be quiet.
You don't know that either?
Be quiet.
Simple questions.
Okay, listen.
Question number
I'm
one.
trying to answer. This lady, she keeps talking.
Expect them to tell us.
Are you speaking? Are you?
Cut him out. That's what it is.
Is that a mouth or is that a talking machine? Quiet. Quiet.
My third question.
She asked question. She doesn't stop for the answer. Allah Akbar. Takbir. Was David a prophet?
What's the question?
Was David a prophet?
Muhammad was a prophet.
Shame on you.
Sex of a man.
Shame on you.
Okay.
Get your facts in your Bible. Okay. Did Jesus pray? Did Jesus pray? In the Bible, it says, in the Gospel according to Matthew, it says, Jesus, he fell to the ground and he prayed. In the Christian Bible, in the Gospel according to Mark, chapter 14, verse 35, in the Bible, it says, Jesus, he fell with his face to the ground and he prayed.
Still shows your Allah is that small that you can't even defend it. Shame on
This is a chair, not a ladder. Yeah, shame on you. She said this is ladder. This is not a ladder. Show it. It's a chair. Go back to school. Learn English.
shave his shin
She said this is
before
not
he prays.
Does Allah shave his shin?
Allah
shave his shin? Come on.
Does Allah shave his shin?
What did Jesus pray to?
He will answer the
That's
question.
not answering
What did
my
Jesus
question.
pray to?
Can you answer the question?
You answer.
Does Allah
What
shave
did
his
Jesus
shin?
pray?
Does Allah shave his shin?
What did Jesus
There is
pray?
no answer.
What did Jesus?
You're embarrassing to the Dawah.
What did
You're
Jesus pray
embarrassing to the Islamic Dawah
Christian
and
are confused.
Allah and Muhammad.
Okay.
Does Allah take a
Takbir.
Does
Takbir. You are losing. Okay. Answer the question. Will you be quiet? Answer the question. Will you be quiet?
Well done.
Answer.
One Muslim is speaking from this side. So one Christian speak. You are a cameraman. You are not a talk. Quiet. So why are you holding the prayer? These Christians, they are Solomon, Bokmon, Omiyun, Fahula Yardu. They are deaf, dumb, and blind. Look at this woman. She doesn't listen to me. And she's carrying on her party political broadcast. Answer my question. No lies. She's lying on the camera. Excuse me. Don't you understand English? These Christians are confused.com. These Christians
speak Arabic.
You
speak Arabic.
He doesn't even know English properly.
Does Allah pray? The question Muslims must answer.
She's screaming.
Does Allah do kudu korkusu?
Okay, be quiet. Be quiet. Be quiet. Be quiet. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a creator. He does not pray. But he sent blessings on our prophet Muhammad peace be upon him. That inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Yes, Christian. Why is that true? Okay, which Bible? Which Bible? Which Bible? Which Bible?
You told us Allah created everything. Actually, Allah created himself from the sweat of
Because he's a creator. Hey, Allah created himself because he's a creator. Okay.
But that's not my question.
Did God create Jesus?
His own word.
She doesn't know our Bible and she picked up our Quran. You liar. Madam, you are a professional liar. I tell you, you are a professional www.confused.com. Yeah, www.liars.com. Yeah. You don't follow God, you follow Iblis. You follow Satan is good. Then Jesus pray. A Christian is saying Satan is good. You know why? Because the Christians, they are so bad, they don't like Creator Allah, they like Shaitan. So that's why a Christian says Shaitan is good. Allah is good. Shaitan is a loser like you. Okay, hey Christian, did Jesus pray?
I'm a Jew today.
Oh, you're a Jew.
Today.
So sometimes Christian is Jew, sometimes Christian is Greek. Okay, excuse me. Yeah, okay.
Tomorrow I will worship Satan.
Is Jesus God?
I don't know.
A Christian doesn't know. So that's why I say to you, www.confused.com.
Alhamdulillah.
He likes that title. Okay.
Precious blood of the Lamb, and the blood shall never lose its power. No, never. No, never.
white man were born one day. Jacob and Esau. You are descendants of Jacob. I am a descendant of Esau, the black. Now, Jacob was used to resurrect the dead. Esau's name, his name was never used to resurrect the dead. This is the term. This is the first time that when you call this name, Olumba Boo, the dead. Olumba Boo. We have now come down to death. Who can say this? I came down with angels to get the world. Can the power say this?
No chance.
Can the Archbishop of Canterbury, can you say this?
No.
That means God Almighty is the creator of heaven and earth. He said, man has failed man. That's why he has come down physically now to church and rule the world. Anybody outside the brotherhood of the cross and star is doomed.
Even though the Queen of England,
how to pray.
if she doesn't come back to the brotherhood and come out and confess her sin, she lost her crown already and she's doomed already. Either get the facts right. The Queen at the Buckingham Palace.
Anybody outside the brotherhood is doomed. That's a message to the whole world. Olumba say, love ye one another now, or you perish. That's a message. Olumba say, love one another. Love ye.
God being an infinitely holy God requires infinite perfection, and you have not rendered to God infinite perfection. But Jesus Christ has rendered a perfection that none of us have. Jesus Christ has rendered an obedience unto God the Father that no other man has ever rendered. And that's why every one of us, we need the Lord Jesus Christ. We need Jesus Christ, our righteousness, because we only have the Lord Jesus Christ as our righteousness. Otherwise, there is no righteousness. If you present to God your righteousness, that is a filthy righteousness. And every one of you know in your hearts that you have broken God's holy law. There is none righteous, no, not one. There is none that doeth good, no, not one. All have sinned, and come short of the glory of God. And you know, every one of you in your hearts, that you have sinned. And that's why you need a Savior. And there is only one Savior of sinners. Only Jesus Christ has power to forgive